There is a group of people right now, not one, not two, a group who cannot get you out of their head. And I need you to sit with that for a second, because what I'm about to tell you is going to hit somewhere deep. These people, they owe you an apology. They know it. They feel it in their chest every single morning. And the reason they haven't said it, the reason you haven't heard a word from them, is not because they don't care. It's because the guilt is so heavy, so suffocating, that they are terrified to even look you in the eye. They did you wrong. They know exactly what they did. And that knowing, it's eating them alive right now. Here is what nobody talks about. The guilt isn't just emotional. It's physical. There is a tightening in their chest that happens at the most random moments. They are laughing at dinner with someone new, and suddenly there it is. That pressure, that heaviness, like something unfinished is sitting right on their sternum, reminding them. They try to breathe through it, they try to push it down, but the apology they've been holding back has mass, it has weight, and their body knows it even when their pride refuses to admit it. Every single time they try to move on, something pulls them back, and that something, that pull, is you. Not because you are chasing them, because the truth of what they did will not let them go. Let me be really specific, because this isn't some vague feeling I'm throwing out there. Think about someone, or maybe a few someones, who moved through your life and left damage. They might have seemed unbothered. They might have gone completely silent, but they might have even acted like you were the problem. But here's what's actually happening behind that silence. Their conscience has been wide awake. They are lying there at night, replaying moments, specific moments, that argument, that thing they said, the day they chose someone else over you, the time they let your name get dragged and did absolutely nothing to stop it. Those moments don't just disappear, they stay. And they are staying hard right now for the people who hurt you. You've been asking yourself, maybe quietly, maybe only in those raw moments when you're alone, whether any of it ever even registered to them, whether they ever looked back, whether what you gave actually meant something, or whether you were just easy to discard. And I want you to hear this directly. You were not easy to discard. No, you were not forgettable. You were not the nothing they tried to make you feel like. The fact that they can't sleep, the fact that they are scrolling your page in silence, the fact that they are carrying this weight, that's the proof. You mattered. You mattered more than they ever let you know. And now they are living inside the consequence of having mishandled someone real. Here is what's wild about this season you're in. There is a wave, a genuine wave of conviction moving through the lives of people who lied on you, left you, used you, doubted you, took you for granted, gossiped about you, and then convinced themselves it wasn't that serious, that you'd get over it, that you were too sensitive anyway. And for a while, they kept that story going. But something shifted. Yes, something shifted. Time has this brutal, beautiful way of stripping the story down to the truth. And the truth is showing up for them now, whether they wanted it to or not. I want you to understand something about why they can't face you. Because it's not what most people think. It's not just embarrassment. It's not just awkwardness. It goes much deeper than that. Here's the thing. When they look at you, or even think about looking at you, they know that the mask they tried to put on, you would permanently flip back onto their own face. They spent so much energy crafting a narrative where you were the problem, the difficult one, the one who was too much. And they know in their gut that one real conversation with you would demolish every single layer of that story. Your presence is the key that would unlock everything they've been containing. And the explosion of truth that would follow. That is what terrifies them, not you. The truth that lives right next to you. Some of them are watching your life from a distance. Yeah. They see you moving. They see you at peace. They see you thriving in spaces they probably said you'd never reach. And that contrast between what they told themselves about you and what they are now watching with their own eyes, it's doing something to them that no conversation could ever do. Your consistency is the loudest thing in the room. Your life is talking, and they are listening to every word of it. But here is where it gets really interesting. Think about this image for a second. Their guilt, the guilt they are carrying right now, is like a scream trapped inside a sealed vault. From the outside, they look fine, composed, like everything is normal. But inside their own mind, that scream is bouncing off the walls, getting louder, getting more distorted every single day. They are the only ones who can hear it, and the walls are closing in. That is their current reality. They are living inside a room where a siren is constantly going off. But they have to smile at their neighbors and pretend everything is peaceful. And the worst part, they built that vault themselves. Every lie they told, every silence they kept, every moment they chose the comfortable story over the true one. That's another wall, another layer of still. And now they are sealed inside it with the noise of what they did to you on permanent. Let me go even deeper, because this isn't just about the obvious ones. This is also about the quiet ones. The ones who never said anything cruel to your face, but nodded along when someone else did. The ones who knew better and stayed silent. The ones who absorbed a one-side story about you without once asking for your side. You know who I'm talking about. The friend who went quiet. The family member who just went along with it. The person who had who had enough information to say, wait, that's not fair, and did nothing. It chose not to. They are in the weight. They are in this too. And the weight they are carrying is a different kind of heavy, because it's the weight of a mission. What they didn't do when it mattered. I want you to picture something for a second. Picture someone laying awake at 2 a.m. and the room is quiet and they are staring at the ceiling, and your face just comes. Not because they want to, because it will not leave. They are replaying the moment they said that thing they can't never take back. They are replaying the day they chose someone else's version of the story over yours. They are remembering the specific way your voice sounded when you were trying to explain yourself and they just shut it down or kept silent. You refused to hear it. And now, in the quiet, they hear it. Now there is no noise to drown it out. And that memory has weight it didn't used to have, because they have had enough time and enough distance to finally see it clearly. They see what you were actually doing. They see who you actually were. And they are devastated by what they threw away. Here is the part that might actually break something open in you. A lot of these people genuinely didn't understand your value while you were present. That's not an excuse. It's a reality. When you were near, they were too used to you. When you were powering, they were too comfortable receiving. When you were carrying things they didn't even know you were carrying, they just let you. Your presence was doing something for them that they couldn't name, couldn't see, couldn't fully appreciate until it was gone. And now absence has done what presence never could. It has revealed exactly what you were. And that revelation is not gentle. It's sharp. It's cutting. And they are feeling every edge of it. And here is the part that they really cannot escape. They tried to replace you. Some of them actually believed they could. They thought they could duplicate what you brought. They thought the next person, the next situation, the next dynamic would carry the same energy. They moved on fast, almost aggressively, like speed itself was proof that they were fine. New people, new spaces, new everything. But the thing about something real is that it cannot be counterfeited. No, the new connection didn't have your steadiness. The new atmosphere didn't carry your peace. The new person showed up differently when things got hard. And somewhere in the gap between what they had and what they now have, the math became undeniable. What they called ordinary was actually extraordinary. What they treated as replaceable proved impossible to replace. And now they are living inside that answer every single day. Every single day. The people who misread you or misread you, the ones who mistook your boundaries for pride, your discernment for judgment, your patience for weakness, your kindness for desperation, they are in a specific kind of pain right now, because what they dismissed as ordinary, they are now recognizing as rare. And this is a brutal realization, because you cannot unknown it. You cannot unknow it. Once you see clearly, you cannot go back to the convenient version of the story. The fog has lifted for them. Their own conscious is running the footage back. And the footage doesn't lie. Doesn't lie. Now listen, I know part of you has been carrying something that you might not even say out loud. A quiet question underneath everything. Something like, was I too much? Was I foolish for loving like that? Was I naive for believing in people who clearly didn't see me the same way? And I need you to hear the answer clearly. No, 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 no. The fact that your love and your presence left marks deep enough to haunt people is not evidence that you were too much. It's evidence that what you carried was real. You were not dramatic, you were not difficult, you were not the problem they made you out to be. You were often the one holding more than you share, acting from a genuine place, while others acted from insecurity, pride, convenience, or fear. And now the fruit is showing. Here's something that is genuinely worth letting land. The most terrifying thing to them right now is not your anger. It's not that you might confront them or expose them publicly. The most terrifying thing is your peace. They expected bitterness. They built their story on the accusation, assumption that you would fall apart, that you would keep reaching out, that you would need them to validate you. They assumed you'd come crawling back, needing closure from the very people who broke something in you. And instead, you got quiet, you got still, you got free. And that, your freedom, your peace, your ability to move forward without them, is the most destabilizing thing they have ever witnessed. Because it means their version of who you are was completely wrong. And it means you don't need a single thing from them to be okay. There is something I want to name that doesn't get talked about enough. And that's the sorrow of the people who used your vulnerability against you. You were open with them. You trusted them with something real, something tender. And instead of handling that carefully, they used it. They weaponized it in arguments. They shared it in spaces you never consented to. They made you feel like your openness was a liability. And because of that, you started closing down. You started over-explaining yourself to protect against the next misinterpretation. You became hyper-careful. You questioned your own instincts because the last time you followed them openly, it got used against you. That did something to you. And the people who did that are sorry now because they realized they were given something sacred and treated it like it was nothing. That realization has landed, and it's not comfortable for them. You might be wondering, so what does this actually mean for me? Does it change anything? Do I need to respond? Do I need to open the door? And here is what I really want you to understand. This isn't about them coming back. This isn't about restoration or giving access to or any of that. This is about you getting to stop carrying a lie. Because the lie was that none of it matters. The lie was that you were easy to erase. The lie was that your love was wasted. Your presence was unremarkable. Your sacrifice was invisible. And now the weight of regret in the lives of people who hurt you is the universe correcting that record. Not for their sake, no, not for you can feel superior, but for you can breathe. Here's something critical though, and I mean this seriously. Being sorry and being changed are not the same thing. Some of these people are sorry because they miss the access. Some are sorry because consequences hurt. Some are sorry because the memory will not leave them alone. But sorry is not the same as accountable. Regret is not the same as transformed. A person can feel terrible about what they did and still not be safe to let it back in. So, when I say they are sorry, I'm not saying rush back. I'm saying receive this as the confirmation your healing needs. And then let discernment lead you from here. Watch from fruit. Watch for ownership. Watch for whether they can name what they did without minimizing it, without flipping it back on you, without making their apology secretly about what they need from you. Those are different things, and you have every right to know the difference. What I really want you to walk away with, the deepest thing in all of this, it's not about them at all. No, it's not about them. It's about you getting to reclaim something. Because there is a version of you that's been walking around quietly wondering if you were just a little too easy to live, a little too easy to dismiss, a little too forgettable. And that version of you has been shrinking, playing smaller, second-guessing your own sincerity, your own love, your own red of the room. And I need you to understand that shrinking was a response to being mishandled, not a reflection of your actual worth. You are not too much. You are not the problem. And the fact that grown people are currently losing sleep over how they treated you is the most honest testimony to that truth that exists. Late recognition is bittersweet. I know that. It can bring closure, but it can also bring a kind of grief. Because sometimes people realize your value after the damage is done. Sometimes the I'm sorry comes after trust has already died. And you don't have to pretend that doesn't hurt. You don't have to rush to a clean resolution. You are allowed to feel the complexity of being seen now after everything. And here is what you are not allowed to do. You're not allowed to use their lateness as proof that you were never worth being seen. That's the lie. And this moment is the correction. Your heart was not wasted. The love you give was not foolish. The sincerity you brought into spaces that didn't deserve it was not a mistake. It was a demonstration of who you are. And who you are is someone who carries real weight, who shows up genuinely, who loves without an agenda. And the people who had that and let it go or pushed it away are living in the understanding of that right now. Every single day. The vault they built around their guilt is getting smaller. The walls are getting closer. The sound inside is getting louder. And there is nothing they can do to silence it, because it's made entirely of truth. And truth doesn't decay. Truth doesn't fade. Truth just waits. So stop calling yourself forgettable. Stop replaying the moments where you were not chosen like they are evidence of your value. Stop shrinking in new spaces because old people couldn't see you. You were significant then. You are significant now. And the group of people who are too scared to face you right now, they know it. Their guilt knows it. And deep down, underneath all the noise and the self-protection and the sleepless nights, so do you. Your value is not up for debate. Move like it.